Unit 14, Literature, composed upon Westminster Bridge, William Wordsworth. Activity 1. Which scene, in your opinion, is more beautiful? Which do you think would be more likely to inspire great poetry? Why? Activity 2. Read this text about the poet William Wordsworth. Where and what is Wordsworth country? Activity 3. Complete the text with these words and numbers. 1798, romantic, Dorothy, Cambridge, financial. 1850, Switzerland, Coleridge. 1802, 1770, France. Activity 4. Match the sentence halves to describe different types of poetry. 1. A sonnet is a poem. A limerick is often a 3. A ballad is a 4. An elegy is a 5. Blank verse is poetry, a story in a poem or song. B. That has a fixed rhythm but does not rhyme. C. Sad poem, often about someone who has died. D. A 14 lines following a rhyme scheme. E. Humorous or nonsense, 5-line poem. Activity 5. Read Composed upon Westminster Bridge, September 3rd, 1802 by William Wordsworth, and answer the questions. 1. Which of the above types of poetry describes Composed upon Westminster Bridge? 2. What time of day does the writer refer to? Activity 6. The poem contains some words in archaic forms or with old-fashioned meanings. Find 5 of these and match them to the modern equivalents in the box. Beautiful, does, to never, glides. Activity 7. Answer the questions about the poem. 1. The rhyme scheme for the first 4 lines is ABBA. What is it in the rest of the poem? 2. What for a work by a romantic poet is surprising about the first line? 3. What sort of person is referred to in the second line? 4. What contrast is there in the third line? 5. How does the poet create suspense in the opening lines? 6. Which words suggest a feeling of awe at the power of the city? What do we usually associate these words with? 7. What simile does the writer use and why? 8. What metaphors are used in the poem? 9. What does the repeated use of never near indicate about the poet's reaction to this scene of urban beauty? Which phrase indicates a spiritual effect of what the poet is experiencing? 10. What examples of personification does the poem contain? What do you think? Do you like to be in a city when it is asleep or just waking up? Why? Why not? In what ways are cities transformed early in the morning? Can a city really be more beautiful than nature? If so, can you think of any examples in your country or elsewhere? If not, what makes the countryside lovelier than urban environments? Project. Choose a poet from your country. Find out more about them. Write a short biography for a school magazine. Include information on where and when they lived, important influences on their work, short examples of their poetry, similarities, differences in their poetry and the poetry of the British Romantic poets.
Page 30. Exercise 2.
William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was born in 1770 in the Lake District, an area of mountains, lakes and valleys covering around 2,300 square kilometres in Cumbria. His early home life was comfortable, but when he was 8, his mother died and he was sent away to grammar school in Hawkshead. In 1787, he went to university in Cambridge, often returning to the Lake District during vacations to walk and enjoy the beauty of the area. After graduating, he spent time in France, where he supported the Republican cause, and also in Switzerland, marvelling at the scenery in the Alps. In 1791, he fell in love with a Frenchwoman, Annette Vallon, and a year later they had a daughter. But there was war in the air between Britain and France, and a year later he returned to England. His collections, An Evening Walk and Descriptive Sketches, were his first works to be published in 1793. Soon after that, he became friendly with the great poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and in 1797 they moved into a house in Somerset, together with William's sister Dorothy. A year later, they published Lyrical Ballads, a key work in the history of the English Romantic poets, whose poetry dealt with emotional themes, often in response to the beauty of nature. After some time spent in Germany, Wordsworth and his sister moved to Grasmere in the Lake District, and in 1802 he married Mary, a childhood friend. It was at this time he wrote London, 1802, and Composed upon Westminster Bridge, September 3rd, 1802. In 1807, his Poems in 2 volumes was published, but the following years brought the end of his friendship with Coleridge, who by now had a serious drug habit, and deep sadness when 2 of his young children died. In 1813, however, he was appointed distributor of stamps for Westmoreland, and the salary gave him financial security. This enabled him and his family, including Dorothy, to move to Rydal Mount in Ambleside, where he continued to write for most of his life. In 1843, he was named Poet Laureate, a post he held until his death in 1850. The family grave at Grasmere has become a shrine for visitors from all over the world, and the Lake District, now known as Wordsworth Country, has been a source of inspiration to many more writers and artists.
Page 31. Exercise 5.
Composed upon Westminster Bridge, September the 3rd, 1802. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Dull would he be of soul who could pass by a sight so touching in its majesty. This city now doth like a garment wear the beauty of the morning, silent, bare, ships, towers, domes, theatres and temples lie, open unto the fields and to the sky, all bright and glittering in the smokeless air. Never did sun more beautifully steep in his first splendour valley, rock or hill. Ne'er saw I, never felt a calm so deep. The river glideth at his own sweet will. Dear God, the very houses seem asleep, and all that mighty heart is lying still.